Welcome back to the channel, glad to have you here. In today's video we're going to talk about the common reasons why your basil plant keeps on failing and how to avoid these problems as well as solutions. Now basil is a beloved herb. It is cherished for its aromatic leaves and wonderful culinary uses. However, many gardeners encounter challenges when trying to grow basil, whether you're trying to grow it from seed, from the cuttings, or from store-bought plants. So understanding the reasons behind why your basil plant fails really is important because it helps you to avoid these problems and ensures a thriving basil garden, and this is what we all want. So in this video I'm going to dive into an in-depth look at the factors that can contribute to basil planting failures, as well as how to address them appropriately, effectively, and consistently, starting with the first problem, which is an inadequate light. Now what's the issue here? It's basically the fact that basil requires plenty of sunlight to grow consistently. Inadequate light here can lead to leggy, weak plants that are more susceptible to diseases as well as pests. So the solution here is in two main solutions. First of all, ensure that your basil receives at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight daily. And number two, if you are growing your basil indoors, which I like to do in the first part of the growing phase, place the basil near a south-facing window or use a grow light to supplement natural light. I personally tried both ways and I find that the grow light really helps to boost the growth of the basil in the initial phase as well. The second problem is poor soil quality. So basil thrives in well-draining, nutrient-rich soil. Poor soil quality can lead to problems like root rot, nutrient deficiencies, and stunted or paused growth. The solution here is to use high quality potting soil if you are growing in containers, or amend garden soil with compost to really help to improve fertility and drainage. In a previous video I talked about the best soil to use for your basil plant, so if you'd like to check out that video, linked in the description box below. Another thing, just a quick up, I usually like to add used coffee, the used coffee in the soil, as well as add in compost and also crushed eggshells in there. Mix it all up. If you don't have crushed eggshells, then you can use perlite as well, but we really need the crushed eggshells to help with the natural source of calcium, which helps enrich the soil. And if you're trying to really be perfect in growing your basil, ensure that the soil pH is between 6.0 and 7.5 for optimal growth. Another problem, the third problem right here, is overwatering. It's a common mistake that can lead to root rot and also fungal diseases as well. Now basil prefers slightly moist but not waterlogged soil. Now I understand if you're planting basil and transplanting the stems into soil, firstly, as a first watering, you need to water it a lot to ensure that the roots really do get the moisture that they need and help to stay within the soil. But after that, make sure that the soil is slightly moist but not waterlogged. So the solution here is water basil only when the top inch of the soil feels dry to the touch, and ensure that the pots do have drainage holes in order to prevent water from accumulating at the bottom. Issue number 4 is underwatering. So on the other hand, underwatering can cause basil to wilt and become distressed. It will reduce its ability to grow and produce flavorful leaves. And the solutions to maintain consistent moisture levels ensure, especially during the hot weather, and also use mulch around the base of the plant. This really helps to retain soil moisture as well. Number 5 is pests and diseases. Now basil unfortunately is really susceptible to various pests like aphids, whiteflies, spider mites as well as other diseases like downy mildew and Forsythia wilt. So the solution is regularly inspect your plant for signs of pests and diseases. Early spotting is important. Use organic insecticidal soap, or you could use neem oil to treat pest infections and ensure proper air circulation around the plant, because this really helps to reduce the risk of fungal diseases. Number 6 is crowding. Now planting basil too closely together can lead to competition for nutrients, light and water, reducing or resulting in a very weak and spindly basil plant. Solution is in two ways. First of all, space basil plants at least 12 to 18 inches apart to allow room for growth. Number two, if you are transplanting from a store-bought basil, which I'd love to do, divide each rooted system and then plant them separately. Problem number 7 is temperature extremes. Now, unfortunately, basil is very sensitive to cold temperature and it can be damaged by frost. And this applies to all sorts of basil species and types of plants as well. So extreme heat can also stress the plant, so balance is key when it comes to temperature. Plant basil outdoors after the last frost date in your area, and if a cold snap is expected, which we usually get here in Finland, maybe like mid-spring or at the end of spring, there is a episode of snow coming in. So what I do is I cover my basil plants, or I bring them indoors under the grow light within the temperature required, and it's good to go. And also provide shade during extreme heat. This really helps to prevent sunburn and the plant from wilting. Number 8 is improper harvesting. So did you know that when you harvest basil incorrectly, this can actually stress the plant and it can reduce its lifespan. So over harvesting or cutting back too much at once can be very detrimental to basil. So harvest basil regularly by pinching off the top leaves, which really helps to encourage bushier growth. And please never remove more than 1/3 of the plant at a time. This really helps to allow it to recover and continue growing. Happy planting, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and have a great day.